Hello and welcome to Breaking Bread with Rivaaj Maharaj, where nothing is off the table. For today's episode, I wanted to talk about something that is, while on the surface extremely hilarious, it actually is sad as well. Because if a minister of a nation, of a country, can speak about his own country in this manner, then, how would your adversaries look at you? So, without further ado, let's get into it. I guess it's no surprise when you talk of the country of Pakistan and within the same sentence you have the word joker involved in it. And what I mean by that is that Pakistan's Minister of Defense, the current Minister of Defense, Mr. Khawaja Asif, is no stranger to ridicule and stupidity on the world stage. You don't need adversaries to go out there and belittle Pakistan because their politicians are immensely capable of doing that on their own. Under Imran Khan's rule, you had Qureshi who, would blurt out, ridiculous, stupid statements. And now you have under Shehbaz Sharif, in fact, you have a trio. It's almost like the Three Stooges because you've got Shehbaz Sharif who goes onto the world stage and blows so much of smoke up Donald Trump's behind. Pakistanis themselves felt ashamed. I felt ashamed watching him grovel, begging the Nobel Peace Prize Committee to award the Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump. It was so cringy that at some point the fun had evacuated and it became really painful to watch.
And today again, I would like to nominate this great president for Nobel Peace Prize because I genuinely feel that he is the most genuine and most wonderful candidate for Peace Prize because he has brought not only peace in South Asia, saved millions of people, their lives. And today, here in Sharm el-Sheikh, achieving peace in Gaza is saving millions of lives in the Middle East. Mr. President, I would like to salute you for your exemplary leadership, visionary leadership. And I think that you are the man this world needed most at this point in time. World would always remember you.
You then had Asim Munir in his historic speech talking about how India was this Ferrari, speeding down the road and it then knocks into a dump truck. Now, for the general, of the army of the country, the supreme commander of the country, self-appointed field marshal, to call his own country a dump truck or a bin truck, it leaves much to be desired. And then you have Khawaja Asif, who in parliament, talking about Pakistan's collaboration with the United States, only to find that once the Afghanistan war had come to an end, the Americans pulled out and basically saying that the Americans used Pakistan like tissue paper, and then said, no, it's actually they used Pakistan like toilet paper.
Moving on to our next story. Pakistan's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif has made one of his most glaring admissions yet. In Parliament, he spoke against Pakistan's past ties with the United States. He said Islamabad repeatedly signed with Washington and as a result ended up paying a heavy price. Khawaja Asif told lawmakers that Pakistan was used by the United States for its own strategic goals and then left behind once those goals were achieved.
उसने सब कुछ बयान किया हुआ है, वो इस पे चलाएं इसके ऊपर कि किस तरह पाकिस्तान को उन्होंने इस्तेमाल किया। लैंडमार्क तकरीर है उसकी, और वो किस तरह एक टिश्यू पेपर की तरह, टिश्यू पेपर तो फिर भी टॉयलेट पेपर की तरह हमें छोड़ गई यहाँ पे। फिर भी हमने उससे ना सीखा, और 2 घंटे के लिए यहाँ पे बिल क्लिंटन आया।
Now, while it is humorous, while it is funny, and while it is expected of somebody like Khawaja Asif, there's also a deep sense of hurt, a deep sense of pain that must be felt by the Pakistani people, because they are indeed a proud nation, and why not so? People of every country of the world are proud of their country and don't want to see it being belittled, let alone by their own politicians. So when your own politicians make remarks like this, it's very unsettling. Now, to understand where this clown is coming from, you got to look at, the duplicitous nature of the Pakistani administration and the Pakistani military. This group or this entity is absolutely narcissistic. There is nothing that they do that is ever in the interests of their own people. It is always for personal gain. The personal gain of those within the army, and that's the special elite within the army, as well as those within the few elite families in Pakistan, those in the political parties. They know who they are. The rest of Pakistan society can rot. It doesn't matter to them. They look at these Pakistani people as, a utility that is there to be used and abused. There's already been rumors doing the rounds that Pakistani troops are already in Gaza, and that in a recent expedition they went into one of the tunnels in Gaza trying to flush out Hamas operatives that were in there, and they were ambushed and killed. Now, they're not being allowed to be buried properly because there's a fatwa against any Pakistani soldier by clerics within Pakistan. There's a fatwa against any of these soldiers that if they're sent to Gaza and they die there, then they're not allowed to be given a Muslim burial. So you got that to contend with. And then furthermore, the government lies to its people that their soldiers will not be sent to Gaza. So, you have this minority in the country, this elite minority within the country and the military that look at the country as if it's their own personal playground. And they care less about anybody else. And it's sad, so when a man of this caliber stands up in parliament and speaks like this about his own country, makes you wonder, how can you then go on and be proud of it? During the Afghanistan invasion by the United States, the Pakistanis knew exactly what they were getting into. They took US money, they played the United States against the Taliban and vice versa. They harbored Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad. So they, every now and then one of them stands up in parliament and says, oh, we've been used. Oh, this has happened. Just to pull at the heartstrings of their public. Anybody with a quarter of a brain will understand that this is all nonsense. You've put yourself in the position. You then suffer as a result of it. But once again, the victim mentality. Somebody else is doing it to me. I'm incapable of doing it to myself. And this is where Pakistan fundamentally gets it wrong. Because cooperation with India, stopping the terror hubs that they encourage. They haven't learnt. Hillary Clinton said to them, you can't raise snakes in your backyard and expect them not to bite you. Yes, she's a fine person to say that. She's talking from experience. But the United States is a hegemon. Pakistan is not. They're just a glorified terrorist organization posing as a country with nuclear weapons. So it baffles me. Enrich the lives of your people. Empower them, educate them, help them to grow. Because when they grow, your country grows. You become a better society. You become a better country. You contribute to the world. You contribute positively to the world. When you're known as a terror state, funding terror insurgencies all over the world, it leaves much to be desired. So this clown saying that the United States uses Pakistan like toilet paper, he's right. If you put yourself in that position and allow yourself to be used, you shouldn't be in a position then to complain and say, this is what has happened and they've done this to me. Because you knew full well what was going to happen. When you were taking their money, it was fine. Those documents released where Vladimir Putin raises alarm with George Bush about Pakistan and its terrorist capabilities, and it's merely a glorified terror state. So everybody knows it. You are used as a pawn, but you are in that position because you allow yourself to be in that position. If you stood firm, if you stood your ground, if you had some moral fortitude, some backbone, and if you cared about your people, you would not portray yourself in this manner. You look for short-term gain, what you can put in your pocket, how much you can eat, and all the wealth that you can accumulate just for you and your family at the expense of your nation. And then you tell your nation that it's somebody else's fault. One day your nation will wake up and they will realize that the enemy does not lie externally, that the enemy lies squarely within the country. And when that day arrives, there will be levels of violence within the country that has never been seen before. Because when people reach breaking point, the French Revolution is a classic example of what will happen. So, stop degrading your country on the world stage. Stop degrading your country in front of the world. Have some pride. Have some respect for your own country. You claim to love this country that, was created. You claim to love this country that is, the bastion of the Muslim world. But you speak this way about your own country? How do the two reconcile? It's shocking. So, give the people the dignified life they deserve. Stop thieving, plundering, and engaging in nefarious activities all around the world. Make yourself a country that others want to look up to and follow and emulate, not one that people look at and laugh. Because currently that's where you stand. You can control all the social media narratives all you want. The truth is there. So, do right by your people. I want to thank you for spending time with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, as it helps us with the algorithm and it helps our channel to grow.